you, you know, when you work it right. Okay? When you work it right. If you don't work it right, by the way, I'm on live tonight between Instagram and Facebook Live. Probably won't do too much live with Instagram, but we'll see. I'm just trying something new tonight, folks. Thank you. Welcome, welcome, Janice. Brooklyn is in the house. We have Brenda from Brooklyn in the house. Sister friends are in the house. Welcome. You know that. Love button, like button, you know that. Appreciate you. Let us know if you're just joining, what is happening with your time management. Give us some tips. Somebody engage me, please. Please. All right. Now, the other thing is about time management. When we're talking about, well, time, wasting time. When we talk about people, now, you know, that can be a sensitive topic because when you're talking about people, maybe you've known them for 100 years or you've known them for all of 5 minutes. Maybe you met them in the grocery store in the pandemic. And if you were, I hope you were, you know, hopefully you had your mask on and you weren't chatting it up too much. But yeah, you know, you can meet people in the pandemic that may become valuable to you and what your goals are. So I don't mean shut down a networking source. What I'm saying is recognize people, places, or things that are of no value or of little value to you as you're moving up the career and or your life journey skills ladder. Questions. Go ahead, give me some questions, people. Anything, career development, time management. Give me a question, make a comment. Question, how important is time to you? I guess, Nevaeh, are you asking me personally or just anybody out there? But I'm going to go ahead and answer that. If it's for me, and by the way, I'll ask that as well out to the audience. How important is time to you? You know, capital Y-O-U, right? And to me, time is very important because I used to be the type of person where I think I was a procrastinator very, very early on. And then meaning that I was the type where, and if you're a procrastinator, guys, you can put that out there too. If that's you and it describes you, you're not alone. Procrastinating about doing something. And I'll tell you why. Some of us procrastinate because we don't know any better. Or we're thinking maybe that particular goal will never happen. So if we kind of do it slow, the snail trail way, then nobody will notice and you'll be fine. You cannot be judged. You do it on your own time. All of that, right? That's what I'm saying. That's what I used to be. And that was very early on in my career as an HR person working in human resources and corporate HR. And they had a regimen everywhere I worked. And I did a lot of contract work. And then I became a contract HR person, right? Which I still accept contracts, by the way, in HR. And I'm saying, essentially, I really, you know, oh, now the time is my own and I can work. Basically, that's time management or management consultant. They give you a project and now you're working on it. You get to the bottom line and then you move on to another company and work on somebody else's project. So I think I excelled at being a contractor, which was what was so attractive because it's the closest thing to entrepreneurship. On a traditional 9 to 5, and the answer to the question, how important is time to me? On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it to you? For me, it's right up there, very, very, very much so, 10. And I changed from procrastinator to the close to that 10 as we can get it. And most of the time we think of 10 as being perfection and being, well, you know, I'm short of being a perfectionist. I like things to go right. I like for things to go well, but let's face it, they don't always go well. And that's why time management is so important because I could have wasted, and I know I've wasted a lot of time in my life with people that didn't really matter. And that's the truth. I mean, they meant really, they weren't going to do me any good. And some, we're still friends till this day, which is good. But I understand that their work ethic and how they work and run their lives is very different than how I do mine. So I don't worry about that. I just know that we're really Good friends, and I leave it there. Anybody? Does that work for you? Someone says, comment, scale of 1 to 10. Tanisha said 10. We got another 10 in the house. Come on now, get some thumbs up for the 10s. Okay. Somebody else says, let's see, I procrastinate on difficult tasks. Yep. Yes, absolutely. Kato, Helen, yes. Tackle the easiest task first. That's an excellent resolution. Please give us some resolutions. I appreciate that one. What Kato said is, I procrastinate on difficult tasks. I tackle the easiest task first. Why is that important? Because if you try to get something so big and you bite off a big chunk of something, it usually it gets stuck in the wrong place. Okay? If you use the analogy to food, oh my goodness, did I just, try to eat everything at once? Then you feel stuffed, or you just couldn't fit it all. So now what? So the small bites first. That makes sense. That's just an analogy. Sometimes we procrastinate to avoid the unfamiliar. Absolutely. California says. Here we go. Sometimes we procrastinate to avoid the unfamiliar. Brenda says prioritize duties. Absolutely. Absolutely. If you're not prioritizing, then all you're doing is what? You're just reaching for something. You keep doing something. You're grabbing here, grabbing there. You're getting distracted, and you're wasting time. Poor time management equals poor time on reaching your goals. Goals are connected to time. Time is connected to everything in our lives. Places, people, things. Now, Brenda says, sometimes it's best to think it through first. Absolutely. I mean, if you want to think things through before you just jump. Now, I'm not one for just jumping into something, but I have done that. And that's because I trusted the individual or individuals or group in what their goal was. And I said yes to something before I knew fully what it would entail. I knew what my role would be, but I didn't know really what to expect from the others. I just assumed, hey, they're great, they're good people, everything. Trust me, that doesn't work anymore. If you're an entrepreneur, no. And even if you're on that traditional 9 to 5 and you're sitting in the office, how about that one person in the office? Let me ask you this. If the traditional 9 to 5 is out there, you walk into the office, I'm sure there's just at least 1 or 2 people that are always there before the doggone office opens. You ever seen those people? And then you walking in, trailing in with your Dunkin' Donuts, you got your coffee going and everything, or your tea. I'm a teetotaler. How about a spot of tea? I love it. Right? Or a donut, coffee roll. You're just kind of moving, walking on in. You're walking slow from the parking lot from your car. Come on. Somebody has been there and done that before. If that's you, go ahead and do the thumbs up and say, yep, that's me. From the car, you just, just all sluggish and waiting. You might need some vitamin D on that one, or B12. Anyway, but hey, thank you. I think Nevaeh, yes, I got you. Listen, I'm just going to do a shout out next week. I won't be alone, folks, so make sure you tune in next week, 8 o'clock. Make sure, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and share out the videos as always. We're going to have another guest, another one. She would be really a first one. Actually won't be alone. I'll be bringing her on camera, and her name is Nevaeh. Nevaeh, N-E-V as in Victor, A-E-H as in Harry, Nevaeh. And she has a wonderful company with Nevaeh Lipsticks. Oh, yes. Yes. So if you're on here and you're looking for that type of cosmetic, feel free to check out her profile or her page, Nevaeh Hedge, H as in Harry, E, D as in David, G as in girl, E, Nevaeh Hedge. She will be joining me next Tuesday on hashtag Talking with Toy on Tuesdays, and we're going to be chopping it up. So make sure you join. It will be my first time. Yes, not by myself. I'm excited for someone who is even willing to join me. So yeah, let me see. Let's see. Janice says, that's true about time. Those are early birds. Yep, that's what we call them. There are people that show up. They show up an hour and a half ahead of time. But let me just tell you, there's a little difference in that. Now, if you're showing up extremely, extremely early and someone has invited you somewhere and then you find yourself the only one sitting there, you kind of make people that are hosting something very nervous. If you are going on an interview, because my background is HR, and you're showing up an hour before the interview started, you can't just sit in the reception area and, like just chilling, so to speak. Find something else to do, somewhere else, maybe back in the parking lot, somewhere wherever it's safe. Looking at your mobile phone or something, making a call, finding a little bit more out about the company, but not to just sit in a waiting area and look at someone and make as though they're babysitting you because you're sitting there and you're just looking at them and they don't know what to do. You're not scheduled. The only place, maybe the doctor's office, they always say 15 minutes early. If you filled out paperwork, I don't even bother showing up 15 minutes early. I'm like, my paperwork was done before I walked in here. I verify that before any appointment. Try that. Yes, thank you, Nevaeh. Said great broadcast. She will be in the house. Nevaeh Hedge. Check her out, folks. And she has, it's NevaehLipsticks.com. She will be in the house next Tuesday joining me live right here, Facebook Live. I'm telling you, folks, things are moving up, in my opinion. I was doing this by myself and talked about it and said, hey, if you're interested in coming on camera, I know people are shy, you can't do it, your job and all kind of things, but we don't do profanity here. Everything I do is just, it isn't fun. It's informative. I'm a motivational speaker and certified life coach, HR talent acquisition. I like to have fun while I'm training others. I like to get the message out that's pretty clear and, really concise, but I want to make sure that you're all enjoying the live broadcast. If you missed any portion, go back and do the hashtag replay. You know how we do it. So yeah, if you're interested. And send me some things. Okay. Send me some thanks and some. Okay, love it. Whoa. All right. So anyway, Nevaeh will be in the house next week. So Brenda, I hope you'll be back. All of, of course, anybody that's interested, you can go to her right there, NevaehLipsticks.com. Again, she spells her name. It's www.NevaehLipsticks.com. Okay. NEV as in Victor, AEHS, Nevaeh's, she has the S there, lipsticks.com. All right. So that's excellent. Brenda's going to share it out, the word about her product. Well, hey, Brenda, I know to see you next week. All my people from Brooklyn. I'm a native New Yorker. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome. Appreciate that. We're doing with time. We got about less than 10 minutes. So yeah, tonight, this is something that we want to make sure we're doing. When it comes to time, make sure that you're taking notice of your time. Don't just give your time to anyone without understanding the expectation in return. If you're setting appointments throughout the pandemic, make sure you understand this is different because including doctor's offices, they'll call and they'll reschedule. They're doing all sorts of things because people are trying to catch up. So that's kind of, expected. It may be frustrating, but it's expected. That's what's happening now. You can't control everything, folks. Let's face it. We just cannot. But there is something you can control. While you're at home or if you're limited time, you're in the office, make sure you take time for yourself. Make sure you take time to write things down on paper, what your steps are for the next day, the next week, and keep it in that time frame. And if someone calls you and you say, look, I can't really talk right now, we need to schedule something. You don't have to be an entrepreneur to start asking people or telling them we need to schedule. You want to keep on a schedule, because when you go back to work, and a lot of us who are still working from home, when you go back to that office, it's going to be very difficult, because you've been at home, you've been working from home, you've been Zooming like crazy. Zoom, Zoom, and Zoom. If I see one more Zoom, I'll be zoomed out. Okay? And it's important because it's important to you. And so if you have to go back into an environment that you haven't been in since March or April, for some of us, no matter what your profession is, it's going to be a challenge. So if you try to stay with a similar schedule that you were or that you had prior to the pandemic, that will help you to avoid distraction and avoid wasting time. In terms of wasting time with people, right? We may have lost signal for a brief moment. In terms of wasting time with people, you have to decide which people in your life are worth you giving your time to or spending time with them. Right now, you can't hug anybody. You can't really go to people's homes unless they are family. But this is a good time to figure out who your friends are and who isn't. Right? Because we should be checking on one another and taking some time out. You have to carve that time out. Check on your friends. Check on your family. But again, a lot of things aren't reciprocated. So if it isn't, well, it just isn't. You know, we don't all have to be close. We don't all have close family members or even close friends. But for those of us who do, they need to understand your time is still valuable. You still have projects to work on. You're still working your traditional 9-to-5 or your entrepreneurship. You're developing your goals. There, you should have each and every day, you should try to accomplish one particular goal, personal and or professional. Personal and or professional. For your development. Some of us on the broadcast, I believe, are educators working in the school system. You know, so there are curriculums. They are in place for a reason. My mom was in the school system, in the New York City school system, was an educator for special ed for a number of years. And she, of course, is now deceased. However, she taught and instilled in me time management. Can't be late for this, can't be late for that. Show up early, be on time, look your best. Your attire is important. Everything that relates to your career and or your life journey involves time. And if you are wasting it, then you don't have the real 100% goal-minded. Goal, G-O-A-L, minded. It starts in the mindset. I say it every week. Most of my lives, most of my videos, go onto my YouTube channel and you will see I have close to 30 videos out there on career development and life skills. And most of them, I talk about writing things down. It doesn't have to be anything elaborate, but making sure that each and every day you tackle one or more of your goals using time management. No more wasting time. If we learned anything tonight, I hope you learned about that. And I know you guys, I know you get it. I know you do. And I want you to be successful. As a coach, it's important to me that people stay in line with their goals and that they exceed their goals. Not just meet them, but exceed them, exceed their goals. That's the key. If you're only trying to obtain a goal and reach a goal versus trying to exceed that goal, then you want to rethink that. Because, you know, sometimes there are hiccups, some things distract us, something comes in the mix, and you weren't expecting it. Now you have to regroup, refocus your goals. And it goes right back to time. So I'm wrapping it up. And the time now is I believe it's 8:53. Anybody have another comment or a tip before we close out? We're closing out at 9 tonight. Yes, we are. We're keeping that time going. And next week, like I said, make sure you tune in tonight. Make sure you share this broadcast. I appreciate you just for joining. I have the greater Atlanta in the house, Brooklyn, New York in the house, my hometown. Yes, NYC. Keeping it 100. Anybody, Questions, comments, I welcome them about time management. Give me some tips on the way out. Anybody, don't be shy. This is it. This is it. By the way, I do offer a 30-minute complimentary coaching call. Yes. And you have to be on time. Yes. If you're interested, 30 minutes. It may change your life. Couldn't hurt. 30-minute complimentary coaching call. Check out my website to learn more about me, my bio, my hashtag stories, multiple stories of hashtag resilience. I have multiple stories of hashtag resilience. Check me out. TJV empowers you, the letter U.com. TJV empowers you, the letter U.com. Definitely follow me on all social media platforms. When you get off this broadcast, make sure you, follow me on my page. Also, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. Don't forget YouTube. Please head over to YouTube because I'm launching in September. I'm going back. I did it last year, but I'm going back as a follow-up. I'm going to focus more on life skills journey versus career development topics. Last year, October through December, for 3 months, I talked about career development topics. So this year, I'm doing life skills journey. And of course, we may have some crisscross and all of that stuff. Yes, all right. So make sure that you check out, NeveaLipsticks.com. Make sure you do that. You'll be able to see, you should see some of the comments and everything on the broadcast. Make sure you check her out. She'll be with me, joining me next week. She'll probably be joining me. We're scheduling her to join me at 8:30. That is the time. I start at 8, and then I'll bring her in at 8:30. I haven't done it before, but I'm going to test this new feature about bringing people on camera. So work with me, folks. Work with me. Yes, someone said lipstick and pricing looks great. That means they're checking it out. Okay, that's excellent. And by the way, Nevea Head, she's located in California. So just to be clear, if you're trying to send her any messages, remember she's 3 hours behind Eastern Standard Time. So we want to be respectful of that, right? But hey, I know, get that sale going. And that's really about it. What do we got? 8:56. I still got some time. How's that? Tonight I actually had more time on my hands. Any more questions? Anything? Time waits for no one. Get some comments out there. What's your number one thing about time? What is your number one thing about time management that, what do you do? Just give me whatever you do for time management to keep it real and keep yourself on time. What do you do? Do you use a calendar? Just put some things out there. What could other people use? Time waits for no one. Brenda says, out of Brooklyn, New York. Yes, sister friend. By the way, Brenda's also a singer. How do I know that? Because we were in the singing group together. High school singing group. Yes. So, there you go. She said time waits for no one. It does not. When you reconnect with people, you reconnect with friends, you can reconnect with coworkers or, former colleagues. That's a great thing if you can connect with them and build on your craft, hone in on your craft, hone in on your goals, do what's right for you and your family, but keep this real. Your time is your own, no one else's. And if no one respects your time, then you know what you need to do. You may need to make some adjustments. How about that? Time is precious, Tanisha says. We got about 3 minutes. Anybody else? Anybody else use a calendar? What do you use? Are you using your mobile devices to keep up with time? What are people doing? I remember earlier, I think it was Helen and Cato, they said they set their time 30 minutes ahead. Wow. Is that every day? And somebody said, Brenda said she sets her time ahead in the car. Anybody else do that? Those are some really great tips, great resolutions. I'm wishing you all, every single one of you on this broadcast, okay, especially throughout this pandemic, I want you to exceed your goal, all of your potential. I want you to go ahead and hone in on that, because someone needs your talent. Someone has seen your website or something like that. They've seen your work out there, especially on social media, and you too may be getting a call. Like I said, I'm just doing this on my own. I'm not working with a team of people, corporate or anything like that. Hashtag Talking with Toy on Tuesdays. I just love bringing you fantastic topics, fun topics, and, just exciting topics, informative, and to motivate everyone. My audience is out there. And that means if it's through a mobile device or it's in person, I'm still going to get it done, because that's what I do. Keeping it 100. What time we have? It's 8:59, folks. So this broadcast will end at 9 p.m. Janice says she used both hard copy calendars and her cell phone. Excellent. Janice out of Brooklyn. Sister friend, I hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining. Of course, much love to my sister friends out in New York. Can't be here without them. I know that. Next week, folks, do not forget, I won't be by myself. I'll start at 8 like I normally do, and we're going to bring in Nevaeh Hedge from California. Check her out. She's been on here most of this evening. She has her website listed with Nevaeh'sLipsticks.com. Make sure you check it out. I will see you next Tuesday. Until then, I'm Toy Johnson-Vincent, your no sugarcoated coach, motivational speaker, certified life coach, HR, talent acquisition professional. TJV empowers you, u.com. Again, check out my website and hashtag stories of resilience. I have multiple. TJV empowers you, u.com. Take care now.